Our king bed needed a headboard, so we got the idea to use an old door and make it a headboard. So I found a door on Facebook Marketplace, 60 bucks, and I bought it. So we came up with a plan for the door. Then we went to Home Depot, bought some supplies, brought them home, and began the project. We just bought this door off Facebook Marketplace. It's a solid wooden door, and we got it for $60. And we're going to try to turn it into the headboard for our bed in our bedroom. It's got the different panels on it, and it's solid wood. We needed to saw it off evenly on each side, so I took it to a friend's house who had better equipment than me, so we could get it cut evenly and in the right kind of proportions. Then I began sanding the edges of the door so it'd be a smooth finish. Then I began using wood filler to fill in the cracks and the holes in the door. Here I'm cutting the 2x4s that will be the rear support for the doors. Alright, I've sanded down the board and I've gone over my detailed instructions trying to get the boards behind it. I'm going to have 2x4s on the back side of the door, which will be along the back of the door and resting on the floor, on the carpet, and then they'll be bolted into the frame of the bed. So I measured them, and they came out to be 50 inches each. Every situation will be different. I sawed those off, and I'm going to sand the corners of it, and that's the next step we're working on and moving along. For the top of the headboard, I'm going to put a 2x4 along the length of it and then some molding around it. Here I'm measuring it to get the length right. The board ended up being 77 inches long. Next came the painting. Got my can of white paint and painted the front of the headboard very thoroughly. All right, I've got the door painted and the 2x4 supports for it, and I'm putting them on the back side of the headboard, and I got it measured out. I'm going to have 18 inches down here, and then a little bit of space right here, lined them up, and these have to be lined up with the bottom of the bed rails to put the bolts in down there. So I got all my instructions my measurements, and so the next thing I'm going to do is put the screws into the back of the headboard, and I'm using these trim head news screws, number 8, 2 1/4 inch. All right, we got the door painted and we got the 2x4 supports on the back here. We used some screws to put them in here. And the next thing to do is to put this 2x4 here and put it on top. Got it hanging over about 1.5 inches, and we'll put a molding underneath that right here. So we're coming along. Now we're going to install this piece of molding that goes underneath the top 2x4, and I tried to center it. I'm not sure if these little nails would split it or not, so I drilled a little hole. So I'm going to nail it right in the center. Air gun would be ideal here, an air hammer. I don't have one. I gotta be careful not to damage the molding with the hammer while I'm trying to get it in. So we'll see what we can do. I already drilled a hole right here, so now I'm just putting this nail in where there already was a hole. It's tricky trying not to bang up the molding there with this hammer. All right, this next part is going to be tricky, especially for somebody who is not handy with these types of things, is trying to get this molding lined up right here. So we're going to have to try to cut it at an angle so it comes together. I'm sure more experienced people know what to do, but I'm trying to figure it out, and we'll see what happens. After I put the screws in, I put some wood filler in the holes, let it dry, and I sanded it down. And these corners here, I had a lot of trouble with. I just don't have the right tools or the knowledge to do it, but I put in wood filler. I'm gonna sand it over, do the best I can with it. So I'm gonna give it one more coat of paint over the wood filler, and we'll be even closer. So after I've put the wood filler in the holes in the different areas, let them dry, I sanded them, and now I'm painting it over one more time. All right, we let the paint dry overnight, and now it's ready to go, and we're going to take it into the house and install it on the bed. We got the headboard in the room, and now we got to bolt it to the brackets on the frame. And here's the finished product. Less than $100, $60 for the door, probably another $20, $30 in supplies. And there you have it. A headboard made out of an old door.